Hello, everyone. My name is Olaf, and today I have a special guest, Ralf Ramos, all the way from the United States. Hey, man.
Hey,
How
oh,
are you doing?
amazing. How about yourself?
Great, great. Good to,
Okay.
to see you.
Hey,
We have never met in person, but this is the first time actually we speak. Glad to have you here. Could you tell a bit more about yourself and what you're doing?
yeah. Well, I am a real estate agent here in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the USA, where everybody gambles, everybody have fun, party, have a good time. Basically, what we sell. But in terms of living here, that's a completely different thing. It's a normal lifestyle. We don't live in hotels like everybody thinks. When I went to Barcelona, I talked to someone like, "Oh, you live in Las Vegas? I was living in casinos and hotels." I'm like, no, I don't live there. There are actual houses in Las Vegas. Believe
Yeah, it's not like The Hangover, right?
Yeah, it is the hangover, but drive a little bit, 15 minutes, it's going to be completely different.
Awesome. So you work as a realtor in Las Vegas, and like, do you work for yourself or like you work for like another company? And how did you get into real estate? Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah. So I am under the brokerage of Signature Real Estate Group. We have a few offices here in town, consists of hundreds of agents. And what got me into real estate is that funny thing, COVID. So I was working in the industry of recording conventions, and when COVID hits, convention is gone, like kaput. We traveled here in the country, sometimes out of the country, actually Barcelona a couple of times to record some technology company. Um, and all of a sudden, COVID hits, right? And
Yeah,
no events, gone, bro. Like it's gone, man. Um, and I was like, you know what? I have really super duper, interest in real estate. So I'm like, okay, let's use this opportunity to learn a new thing.
hmm,
And there I am, took the classes, studied, took the test, and got into real estate. And I didn't know what I jumped into. It was a hell of a
hell of a ride.
hell of a ride, bro.
And so, but you started in COVID. How did that work for you because everything was shut down?
Well, it's pretty straightforward. Like I didn't know any other market, so we hit the phones calling people. I didn't know that here to get business, you have to call a lot of people and ask for the business itself here in the US. I just thought that, the broker's gonna give you a listing. Usually it's gonna be luxury looking.
Yeah.
uh, I just got my license. I'm like, I don't know what to do. What's going on? Where are the deals? When am I gonna be rich? Like I thought this is easy money.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Where are the nice houses, the multi-million villas?
where is it? Yeah, the one with the strip view, with like 360 view of the mountain. Funny fact, yesterday actually I did an open house on one of the nicest neighborhoods here in town, called Summerlin. There's a house that's for sale that has like a strip view. It was a good traffic. There has like probably 20 people that pop by, and there's this weird, not weird, really interesting guy that popped by. He's like, you know what? This house is nice to me. Like this house that I'm doing open house in, it's amazing. Like it's top of the line. It's whatever I want, like in life. And then there's this guy that sat by, and he was like, okay. I mean, I guess it's all right. It's all right. And we got into conversation. He was kind of distant, and I'm like, so where do you live? He pointed out on like the top of the hill. He was like, that's my house right there. I'm like, oh, okay. What does it look like? He was like, it's nice, man. It's like 10 times better than this house that you're showing. I'm like, oh, well, bragging, but all right. And he was like, if you want, I can show it to you. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I'll follow you with the truck, with my truck. And it was like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. And I went to the house and I'm like, oh yes, this is 10 times better. You're not bragging. And if you are, you have all the rights to, because you worked hard for it. This. And I'm like, it's like, yeah, dude, yeah. I was so inspired to, just
Yeah.
work a little bit harder to get into that level. I'll send you the video of
Yeah.
that house.
Awesome. Yeah, but that gives good inspiration, and that's also how you can find new clients. Just giving this
Absolutely.
open house, like maybe in the future, if he wants to sell that house, like you could be his agent. So like you focus more on buyers or sellers, or do you have like a niche where like, hey, this is my sweet spot?
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell a bit more?
Yeah. So last year I had the best year of my career ever. Thank goodness. Yes. Woo. And I analyze the numbers, because that's what we do, right? We look at what we do so that we can produce more later down the line. I noticed that I do half and half. I thought I focus more on listings, but I do half and half. I do half seller, half buyers.
Nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you have listings that attracts buyers,
Yeah.
and you can help them to find another property, even if your listing is not what they're looking for. You're like, hey, I can help you to find the place you're looking for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And going back to your question earlier, like, how is it doing real estate in COVID? It was crazy. Like, at one point, we cannot do open houses, and then we got to do open houses. We have to wear masks. We have to add this booties. We have to do the spray thing. We have to sanitize everything. They cannot touch anything in the house, and that was quite an interesting experience.
Mm-hmm. Can imagine that. And like, I mean, the market has been shifting for a while now, a couple
Oh,
months. So,
mm,
what do you think? Like, what are we in now? And yeah, the big question: where are we going to?
oh,
I know it's a lot to ask, but
crystal.
the crystal ball.
Yeah. It's very interesting. We're still on a cycle, ups and downs, circle. What goes up must come down. This last quarter, we are a lot slower, and this first quarter of the year as well. Sales decline. Like, if you look at the chart from the MLS, which is the multiple listing service here in the US, it's still going down. The sales transaction. The prices are slightly still moving up. And
Mm.
I think what drives it is that the supply. Believe it or not, you would thought that the supply already caught up by now, since the last frenzy, as we call it, it's madness. Um,
But
it's it's still on decline. It's very interesting.
I guess also because like building new properties,
That's right.
it costs so much with like the high inflation, and
Mhm.
that I mean here it's like yeah, it's hard to like, because with the new construction, like it's
Yeah.
way more expensive to build a new property. And what we see in like Western Europe, like in Netherlands specifically, yeah, the government is putting regulations on the rental market to put a cap
Okay.
on the rental price. So for a lot of
Oh,
investors and house builders, home builders, they're like, oh, what's going to happen? And with this
yeah.
higher interest rates, yeah, it's less interesting to build new housing. At least that's what I see here.
So I'm curious. So on your new builds, do you guys have like plenty of lands to work on still? Because I know Barcelona, they can only build up. Like, there's not a lot of land there anymore, right?
Yeah,
Go
it,
further away from the city.
yeah, exactly. In Barcelona, that's kind of also the unique selling point, because you have the beach and they have the
Yes.
the mountains surrounding. So there's no much space to expand the city, and it's an historical city, so they're not gonna
Oh, yeah.
so that
Beautiful.
so they're not gonna tear down the buildings and put skyscrapers there.
I
Um,
hope not.
So yeah, that makes it harder to grow. Although here in this market there is like 17,000 properties on the market around that. For yeah, that's quite a lot.
It
Uh,
is.
yeah, I
And
mean,
price cap on rental, huh?
yeah, no, that's in the Netherlands, the price cap. So in
Oh,
Spain they don't have a price cap, but in the Netherlands they for certain kind of properties.
yeah.
You see, the government is really going towards an anti, yeah, landlord stand
Mm,
point of view. So they put like for certain areas, if you buy the property, you have to live there for 2 years, otherwise you cannot rent it out.
mm,
Rental cap on certain type of properties,
yeah.
raising the taxes.
Ooh,
So
that's fun.
yeah, so for me it's very good because a lot of Dutch
Okay.
investors they go to Spain to look for alternative solutions, and
Yeah.
and I think
Oliver.
yeah, and I think for me, I think United States could be, of course, depends where, but Las
Mm.
Vegas, yeah, you have zero income tax the state, and I think like
Ooh, yes,
the
sir.
I don't know about the local government, but are you guys open, like friendly to work, real estate investing friendly?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So a lot of Californians, a lot of New Yorkers, a lot of from the Midwest are moving here in town because the town is just attractive. It supports business, it supports investors. And the group that we jumped into, they do flips every single time. They just do
yeah,
wholesaling, make money. And it's beautiful. It's America in my opinion. Like most of the parts of the America is just basically business, pro business.
yeah,
And Nevada, we
yeah,
we love we love people that buys from out of the country, out of the state,
yeah,
and just one of the best cities in the world in my opinion.
yeah. Do you have a lot of foreign buyers?
Not a lot, but I do have a lot of out of town buyers.
Like out of state or
Yeah,
yeah,
most
mhm. Yeah,
they
because
buy everything. Their houses there usually cost around 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, and then they're gonna sell their house. Then probably gonna buy one mansion here, and the mansion that they are gonna buy, they're gonna live in it forever. Then they're gonna buy other investment properties on the side just so they get to put their money in real estate again.
yeah, yeah, and like so for us, like I think that's like in Spain we have a lot of non-resident buyers. Do you
Yeah.
like I know a lot of Chinese buy real estate in the United States. How is
Yes.
the like? Do you like by any chance know the process of non-resident buyers? Is there any differences or?
I cannot advise on that really because
Yeah,
I haven't really done, I'm going to be honest with you, done
yeah.
anything out of the country.
Okay.
But people that can do that work.
Yeah, I see. Okay, I mean that's completely different topic, of course.
Yeah,
And
right.
I mean, you work now yourself as a realtor. Do you do like investing in real estate yourself, or like do you have any plans to build up your portfolio?
Yeah, absolutely. If a deal comes my way, if it's too tasty not to jump on, I mean, why are you not going to get it, right?
Yeah,
We're front lines of deals. We call, we meet people every single day. We show houses, we knock on doors. There has to be a deal there somewhere. And if we don't want it, we can pass it along to wholesalers and investors.
yeah,
Um, but in terms of purchasing a house here as a foreigner, I think it's no different as long as you're a resident.
yeah.
There's not much difference. You just have to declare that you're a foreign citizen, um,
Mm,
not a licensed citizen or a citizen.
understand.
That I panicked a little bit. I'm like, no, I'm not ready for this question.
Yeah,
But
it's
came
an
back.
out of the blue question. I was just curious, like how like for
Yeah,
myself, like in the future, like I would love to go there and build like expand my portfolio in United States, and I think it's like for real estate,
Yeah.
most interesting market of like all the countries. As like financing is very easy. So in Spain, residents can get a loan to value up to 80%, and non-resident get 70%. So even if you're a resident here, you have to put 20% down, not an investment property, like your primary residence.
Yeah.
So I think like just the financing and the depreciation, like multifamily housing, there's so much opportunities there, and like there's just a lot of money.
It is. It is. But you opened a can of worms. I don't know how the multifamily works there in Europe, but here in the U.S., it's there's this term called, Stephen Graham. There's this term called house hacking, or the bigger pockets, right? Where you
Yeah,
live in one unit, the rest you rent out, so somebody's paying for your mortgage. That's a very interesting concept, huh?
definitely. Yeah, so multifamily doesn't really exist here. Most people just live in apartments, condos, or single family houses. But
Hmm.
like a triplex or fourplex, duplex,
Yeah,
as far as I know, I haven't seen those properties.
not
Um,
yet.
no, no. Or they're like the golden nugget.
Yeah.
So it's not as common as like United States. You have like a duplex, triplex, like big multifamily housing a lot. Yeah, so that I would say that's a bit the biggest difference from our markets.
Right.
Also, yeah, and yeah, like so we met each other in the Facebook group of Ryan Pineda. Like, how did you get there? And yeah, like he's one of the biggest players in Las Vegas.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Well, just like you, I've been diving into the world of real estate in YouTube. Followed a lot of people, consumed uh, great students' content, and I see Ryan Panetta's videos here and there. But I had a friend that I met on a networking event that invited me to one of his events, and I'm like, okay, cool, this is pretty interesting. He's a big deal, and I get to know a lot of people through networking. I haven't really talked to Ryan Pineda in person, but I networked with a lot of people in the event, and they told me about the Facebook group. I'm like, there is a Facebook group where you can just join for free and talk to all these people instead of networking in real life.
yeah,
Saves you so much time. um, but yeah, I found the group through that, and it's fun. I
yeah,
met you,
yeah.
and here
That's
podcast.
exactly that's how we
Having
met, and here we are. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think yeah, that's also a bit the future of real estate, like being in these
yeah,
communities, connecting with people,
hmm,
content creation, what we're doing now.
that's right.
I think yeah, if you're not doing that in this market in real estate, you're falling behind the people
Yeah,
that are actually doing that, building a personal brand, uh,
hmm,
putting yourself out there. Dude,
yeah. That's
yeah,
mhm. It's funny because back then you have to rely on big companies that says, "Oh yeah, you need my brand so you can sell the house." Today it's completely different. They just obliterated that thing,
yeah,
and you can be your brand now. And I wonder what it will do in the future. Like right now, you're doing content, you're posting on social media, you get a following, just like you, Ryan Pineda, Graham, and it's amazing what they can do with those numbers
yeah.
and work it towards something good.
Hmm. So, for your future plans,
Yeah.
you want to stay with your brokerage? I mean, of course, or like, do you see yourself like building your own company, or it's still yeah, you're not sure.
brokerage world is a different, whole new beast. There's a lot more liabilities into it and a lot more complications. Um, and business as sales representative, which is realtors, is complicated enough that you can scale it to the point where you don't need to be a broker to get the return on your money. I think plans for myself right now, because I'm an individual agent currently. Down the line, if things I could not handle anymore, like deals everywhere, I'm like, oh no, panic. I would hire someone that can handle the transactions and make meaningful connections to people, um, that will do the work with me. Uh, which what cold calling, prospecting daily, open house, video content,
Yeah.
social media posts, emails, all the good stuff. It, I was told, like, just focus on those things,
Yeah.
you will flourish. So focusing on one thing, which is sales,
Yeah.
is
Marketing and sales. Yeah. So
yes,
you can get someone that's taking over for your operational, like the operational part of your business, do like the
that's
smaller
right.
tasks, so you can focus on like lead generation, get more clients, and scale up your
Yeah,
business.
yeah. I mean, and if I can delegate things, that would just benefit everybody, because we can help more people. It's not like delegating tasks that are not valuable. They are all valuable.
Hmm.
In my
Of course.
then that's important. That email will close the deal or not close the deal,
Yeah.
right? Um, but yeah, down the line, I think that's the path to take.
Yeah.
Investment wise, you're into investing, right?
Hmm.
Same thing. Like, if a deal comes my way and it's too irresistible to not to take, would take it.
Yeah.
But like, kind of, the risk is a little bit something that I'm not willing to take. I would pass it along to someone that has a higher tolerance to risk. Um,
Yeah.
but flipping right now, it's not a fun strategy in this kind of market, in my opinion. You're into that.
Yeah, because it's more risky as the market is going downward. So yeah,
That's right.
you don't know like if like after you complete the renovation, if that flip is still profitable or not. I think that
Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
mhm.
I actually just went to one of the flippers project. They've been in the market for a while, and they disclosed to me that they are losing money, 90 grand to be exact, even if
Wow,
they sell it price right now that they're doing. So I went and visited, um, took a look at it, and told them, hey, maybe I can do an open house to make sure that this gets exposure. Maybe sell it, find you a buyer. And they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I was told that they told me that someone was living there. I'm like, it says vacant on the MLS. I'm like, you know what? Let me check it out. And I did check it out, and it's kind of like in a part of the valley that is kind of, it's okay. And I went there, looked at the lockbox, because we use lockboxes
uh,
to property. I couldn't find it for anywhere. Like, it's not on the usual spots, not on the left side, right side of the house, not on kind of the back. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then I walked to the front door, tried to open the door, and the doorknob, it's kind of wonky. Like, this is the doorknob, right? Usually, and it was like this. I'm like, someone kicked it. It's broken.
oh no,
So I immediately called the agent or texted email, because the agent was like probably traveling, and emailed him. He was pretty quick to respond, and it was like, "What's going on here? I don't know what's going on." I sent him a picture of where the lockbox should be, the door, and I knocked on the door. No one was answering, so it's vacant. And then right before I got into my truck, right before I was leaving, the garage door opened. It's like, I'm like, "Ooh, interesting." And then there's these two bumps, I would call them, homeless, that just came out of nowhere. They're like, "Hey, dude, you're knocking the door." I'm like,
no way.
"Yeah, I know the owner." I'm like,
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, I have a few questions, another few questions for you about like, yeah, it's like kind of like standard questions. The end of the podcast. So, which book had the most impact on you?
Which book? There are plenty.
If you could pick one.
I'm currently reading the 12 Rules of Life, by that doctor. He's a philosopher. Um, I'm trying to remember his name. Jordan Peterson. There you go.
I've
And
heard about
I
it. Yeah.
just, you know him, right?
Yeah.
12 Rules of Life. Basically, he outlined there all the things that he studied and learned between all people and some animals and society and like even religion about life. And I'm reading this part where I think it's one chapter of the book that says basically focus on what matters. And that hit me really, really hard this week. That, hey, dude, like, are you doing something that matters, that is worth your time?
Yeah.
What is the things that you need to sacrifice for you in order for you to go where you want it to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because so it's so freaking easy to get distracted in the business. Like, you're on your phone, you're calling all the people in the world, and next thing you know, you're browsing. You're just mindlessly browsing, wasting away your time. And that made me think, like, yeah, dude, like that's the sacrifices. You have to pay attention to the things you're doing to get to where you want to be, right? You don't want to
Exactly.
be like just hanging out. How about you? How's what book has made a great impact?
I mean, it's kind of a standard one. I would say Rich Dad Poor Dad opened my
Oh,
eyes. Like I got it from my brother-in-law, and he gave me the book, and it's like,
yeah,
read that book. And yeah, I read it, and I was like, I want to go in. I want to buy real estate.
dude.
that was like my the eye opener. Was like, okay, yeah, just like how the cash flow works and like assets, liabilities, like that whole just the mindset. That was like the start for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, that's a great book. I actually remember a part of there where he actually said that houses are liabilities if you live in them, right?
Yeah. I disagree
They
on
are
that
not.
part, actually,
Yeah,
because you need to live. Like, I mean, if you rent, like you need to live somewhere. You're not gonna live under a bridge for free. So,
that's right.
or you're gonna spend like money on rent, or you're gonna spend money on your mortgage, like buying a
That's right.
house, and you can do house hacking. For example, you can rent a part out of your house, like you get
Yeah.
income. You
Mm-hmm.
can, like, if the market goes up, you create equity. So your house can be like, I mean, it's a liability, but at the same time, the primary residence can also
Mm-hmm.
be an asset.
That's right.
Uh,
That's right. And he was very distinct on that book, where he said, assets make you money, liabilities take money out of you. Right. That's the very essence. Well, that's my key takeaway from that book.
yeah,
And that's a great book, man. I read it like I don't know years ago, and that did just like you opened my mind to real estate and just being entrepreneurial. Right.
yeah. Okay, next question.
Beautiful.
Do you have a favorite real estate book?
Ah. Hmm. I guess Millionaire Real Estate Agent is by Keller, the guy from Keller
Yeah,
Williams. He outlined there how he did things, how he, connect with people and built the empire. And I think it's pretty interesting.
nice.
How about you?
For me, as an agent, I would say like Sold and Skill from David Green. Help.
Ooh,
You should definitely read it if you're a real estate agent and haven't read that book. You should definitely read it. It's basically like
take note.
it's basically a blueprint of how to like be a real estate agent and how to scale your business, like building these funnels, like building structure, like yeah, if there was like an it's a book from A to C, like how to be a realtor. And so for me, that book helped me a lot. And and also his other book, I would say, like from Brandon Turner, Real Estate Investing, because that just gives you the basics, and like step by step, like how to invest in real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Can you repeat that again?
Salt and Skill from David Green and Brandon Turner, the book on real estate investing. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't really I like what they always talk about on the podcast, the split the difference negotiation book. But I haven't really got into the Salt and Skill.
Yeah.
You recommend it?
Definitely. Yeah. So for the viewers who don't know, like David Green, Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets, one of the biggest real estate platforms in the United States. That's how I would say grow also in my real estate journey. So check that out. Listen to their podcast.
Yeah, they are amazing. Like, you will jump into a new realm of real estate. Like, it will blow your mind if you haven't jumped into like real estate of things back when we discovered it, right? I was like, you can do that on a house and just like be rich. I'm like, okay, let's see where it goes. And here I am, real estate, and still getting into the realm. It's a whole new world out there.
Yeah, great. Do you have a last tip for the viewers that you say, like, something you want to pass on to them?
Pass on? Damn. Okay, that's just a little bit heavy. Excuse me if I curse. Pass on. If you're watching this, you probably have, or hearing this, you probably have an interest in real estate. There is a lot of things to it. There are things that you're not going to experience, or you did not expect that you're going to experience. And there are expectations that are just out of the roof because of the media. Like, they show real estate is fancy kind of thing. But if it really interests you and you think you can do it, jump on it. It's quite a challenge if you haven't run a business before. Or if you're running a business, it's probably easy for you. But jump into something that interests you, that sparks life, that just gives you the smile, that pushes you to wake up every single day, right? And I think that's hopefully that's some of value to your viewers.
I like it. Great words. Where can people find you?
Oh yeah, Agent Ralf. So at Agent Ralf, AGENTRALF. So Ralph is spelled differently. I can share you my POPL, or probably you can link this to this wherever you're gonna post this, YouTube or Instagram. I can send you my link so people can follow us.
Definitely
get to know what we're doing in Vegas, how fun it is here in town, and we are investor friendly. As I said, I want to correct myself from earlier. We are investor friendly from the out of the country, of course. And pretty straightforward.
Definitely. Thanks to have you, Ralf. So people, if you want to invest or buy real estate in Las Vegas, hit Ralf up. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being here, Ralf. And until next time.
Until next time, brother.